Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check the new decisive set for Sora, Tracer, Sora, and Infinite Tracer. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So, these two items are interesting because they are very useful, but not quite broken. So, let's just see what they do. And I have them over here so that we can check them at maximum stats. So let's see. First, Infinity Tracer. Infinity Tracer has a passive that says Visage Art Fox God's Arrow, which is the pure blue skill, additionally performs an explosion attack, and every time this skill hits the enemy, damage increases by 8% for 10 seconds to a maximum of 5 stacks. Critical rate and critical damage increases by 26%. So, the weapon is fine, though it's kind of weird. The thing is that this gives you a damage boost after using your highest damage skill on a blue build. And if we check the cooldowns over here, Sora. Over here, Sora. If we check the cooldown, you can see that this skill has 18-second cooldowns. Even with the skill training, it's not gonna be enough for you to just spam this. So yeah, you cannot benefit from the buff that the weapon provides to the next activation of this skill, which is the one that deals the most damage on a pure blue skill, on a pure blue build. So yeah, that's kind of awkward. I mean, it's good for the follow-up with your other skills or basics, or even with the ulti, but still kind of wacky. And then there's the possibility to use this weapon and this skill on a different build, on a green build or a red build, because the weapon doesn't change its AoE. It doesn't have the damage increase, nor the HP recovery or the knockback, sure, but the AoE is exactly the same. So if you use this as a buffing skill, it's quite interesting. You can use Flare Grudge, then Fox God's Arrow, and then you use Celestial Fox for your mixed builds, God's Maul for your green builds, or Yudachi for your red builds, which is something you can do, I guess. Particularly good when there's multiple enemies. If there's no multiple enemies, you're gonna see that you don't get a ton of damage buffs. You see, it's only 2 stacks. So the more enemies you're facing, the better. Now, let's check the supporter. The supporter is also very good and wacky at the same time. So, Tracer Sora increases combo stack duration by 100%. This is a really good effect, but we want this effect on green, or we want an equivalent for Hisui on blue. Either of those is good, but the thing is, the only reason why we want to extend the combo stacks duration right now is so that we can increase the consistency against Astaroth on Total War. Which, I mean, Sora could do that because she can do mixed builds, but it isn't the best idea. Now, what else does she offer? For every HP restoration received, damage dealt increases by 8% for 10 seconds to a maximum of 10 stacks. That's up to 80% damage increase. And then we have a generic critical damage increase by 30%. So, the 80% damage increase seems really, really useful. And there's some things that you want to know about how HP recovery works. So, no matter your HP, even if you're at full HP, you can recover HP with attacks or attacks that have the HP recovery trait, for example. You're not gonna recover HP with a regen if you are still at full HP, but the attacks can work. So that's something to take into consideration. And not many characters have the ability to abuse HP recovery in such a way that this effect can be used effectively. I mean, you can get benefit out of this. Let's say 40% damage increase, and then you reset the stacks because you didn't manage to restore HP on time. So it is very good. It is like a top tier supporter, an S tier supporter. But from the S tier supporters, this would be at the bottom because of how niche it is. And even if you have a healer, depending on the kind of healing that you're using, you may not be able to gain stacks. I mean, Felicia healing, okay, that works because it's healing on damage, it's not a regen. Lapis healing, that's not that good for these supporters. So yeah. And well, what else does this offer? It has an extra passive. Protect type ally critical rate increases by 24%. So this enhances the critical rate, which synergizes very well with the critical damage increase passive. And then the active. On 70-second cooldown, fire explosion explosive arrows that deal stun damage equal to 1380% of attack and burn burn damage of 300% for 12.5 seconds. Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, it is an acceptable active, considering that the main appeal is all the passive that it provides. Like, it is really, really good, but the thing is, not everyone is going to use this effectively. So let me show you a run with Sora. Let's start with Sora. There's a good amount, well, let's say a handful, because it's not more than 5, maybe 6 characters that can use this supporter. And I didn't save the build. Nice. Okay, well, I can do this. I'll just do this critical. There. This, and this. Perfect. So we have critical damage Megatamas, Infinity Tracer, 5 out of 5 plus 15, whatever weapon 5 out of 5 plus 15, whatever attack Megatamas, and for the build. Okay, we're going to be using Kurenai. We're also going to be using Tracer Sora, and we're using over here Nana. So Kurenai is going to give us a ton of things: damage increase, damage reduction, HP recovery, which is going to synergize well with Sora, Tracer Sora, and a super buff. Then Nana is going to give us more damage reduction because we're gonna need it, because these levels of tower require a lot of damage reduction. And Tracer Sora is going to give us damage, basically a ton of damage. Now for the skills, Flare of Grudge to have a super buff, Chosen to reduce the attack of the enemy, thus having becoming more tanky, and Fox God's Arrow. If you don't want to use Chosen, you can use Celestial Fox, sure. I was originally using Oborogruma, but it's not as good because transitioning from Fox God's Arrow to Oborogruma is not that good. And now, let's see. Let's just change this a bit. And what are we going to use? We're going to be using Protect type buffs. No, actually no. We're only going to use the Protect type critical buff. And then we're going to be using... where is the... it's because it's crit. I remember now. I have over here the critical rate and critical damage increase for range attacks, and the critical damage increase for range. Perfect. With this, we're gonna have a ton of damage, and you'll be able to see how effective this is. So you can see that just by hitting 3 enemies, I was able to reach 5 stacks. So ideally, we do this the right way. Yeah. You want to hit as many enemies as possible to get all your stacks, always. And now I just keep attacking. Honestly, it's fairly simple until we reach the boss. The thing is, we don't have that much damage. Or well, at this point in tower, the enemies are quite tanky. It's more that than the fact that we don't have enough damage. So yeah, that's why it takes so long. I'll just reduce this and gone. Well, not gone, actually. But the enemies are not going to deal that much damage. Okay, yes, perfect. And there, a good chunk of damage with all the buffs. Can I repeat that? I don't think so. I don't think that I'll have the buff on time to use the ultimate. Yeah, as you can see, it is a very reliable build because we have all the damage reduction coming from the supporters, and then the damage increase coming from the weapon, the buffs, and the formations. That's why it's good, and I can just recover HP quickly. In fact, I have tested the characters who are who can use the supporter effectively. They are not like all that good. Some are wacky, but as long as they get the job done, it's good enough. And all of them did. All of them managed to clear this floor. And you'll see that. But before that, we're gonna quickly test. I'm just going to show you that I can clear this, but we're gonna test a different build, a different color with Sora and the Tracer weapon. Okay. I want to save my active, because if I don't save the active, I'm not gonna deal enough damage for the next wave. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. Okay, one more. And what do I have to do? I have to... The thing is, I have to charge my ultimate, but I don't have the basic enhancer. Not particle charge effects. Because I want to do a super buff hit by using the Tracer's buff, Flare of Grudge, and the super buff from the active of Massacre Kunai. Okay, can I do it? I can, I just have to wait a bit. Okay, oof. I'll just recover HP. Okay, it does enough hits to quickly charge the bar. I like that. Okay. Just another hit. And I'm just about to do the super ultimate. Yeah, because I don't have, or well, these enemies are tanky. Again, it's not a matter of damage. It's a matter of them being too tanky. Super ultimate. Okay, and it wasn't enough to beat her, as you can see. Yeah, that's fine. Kaput. Well, at least I just have to deal with one enemy, though she can explode some characters. The good thing is, since I have like 2 defensive options in the form of Massacre Grenade and and Nana, I don't have to worry too much about that. And also the attack down that I can inflict onto her. That's also pretty good. Honestly, I would have given Sora an active on top of this. I don't think it's a bad idea to provide an active on top of the effects of Tracer. Like, you know what would have been the best thing they could have done? Similar to the decisive weapon of Micah, just a skill reset. That would have been amazing, so that you can just get the buff. Oops. Well, I didn't manage. Whatever. It takes too long to do a second try, but I can assure you I already cleared this pretty effectively. Let's do another one, testing this weapon on a different build. Technically, the green one should be the best one. Because you can go mix, not pure green, with this. But no, I'm gonna go with the red one. Let's go red. Flare of Grudge and Foxcut Arrow. And let's go red. And what do I want for Sora? Sora is a protective character and a human with range damage. Let's see. Multiple enemies. Yes, I can put this. Yeah, I can put this one too, to give a ton of penetration. And who or what? I could sure put melt into the equation, but if I put melt, I guess I should change Asagi. Where is melt? Here is melt. And instead of Asagi, because Asagi gives me a buff, no, she doesn't. Increase damage dealt to all enemies for 10 seconds. Yeah, instead I'm going to put just the classic Azusa. Okay, yeah, let's test this. Even if I don't finish the whole run, the idea is to see how useful it is to super buff yourself and then just use this. I mean, you can also easily recover HP on red. I don't think I put the red HP recovery skill, actually. Yeah, I didn't. It's with the... let's... Okay, it's not as simple. You need either four slots or to forgo the super buff strategy. Because you can use, instead of Flare of Grudge, just the Foxfire. Yeah, this one is the one that gives you HP recovery. And then we just change this for something more generic. Again, this one. And we can go with some HP recovery over here, because I'm going to debuff the enemies very easily. And there. Let's see how that works instead. Because with that we have enough sustain. Okay. Let's see. And then Yudachi to deal damage. And yeah, honestly, it's not that great still. Well, again, the enemies are quite tanking this particular floor. But try this build and let me know in the comments if you feel that it is useful or usable to go with the blue skill on a red or green build. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. 2 million damage. Well, they have a lot of HP. It's just that. Let's see if I can beat Momochi, and that's gonna be it. Yeah, okay, done. Perfect. Then for Momochi, I'm just going to do this and deal as much damage as possible, then recover HP. Nice. Can I just There, finally. Okay, good, good, good. Not bad, not bad. I mean, she can manage. There. And their HP recovery. And then more damage. And then just the ultimate. Well, yeah, let's just finish with that. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the whole battle because it would take a long time. These stages are quite lengthy. Now, let's see the other characters. I'm gonna show you all the characters that I think that can use the supporter effectively, but I'm not going to play with them. I'm just going to show you the build with some of them and the best ones I'm gonna show you. So let's start with this one. Let's start with Shizuru. Shizuru, because it would take a very, very long time if I show you the specific of every single character with the builds using Tracer Sora. So most characters are going to be relying on a defensive build that is going to use Massacre Grenade and Miss Marine along with Tracer Sora. This is going to make you quite tanky, and this is going to provide HP recovery. But on top of that, Shizuru has the ability to recover HP on her own. The best weapon would be to use Goddess of Love, but since I don't have it 5 out of 5, I use Cyclop just to inflict a hefty defense down onto the enemy. Then Planting Bait, it deals a very good amount of damage, and to maximize damage, it is a good idea to pair it with Whip Shot. Whip Shot is going to make the enemy slow, and the Planting Bait goes very, very slow to the front, and that allows you to keep the enemy in place so that they take as many hits as possible. That's why we use this combination. If you don't want to use Whip Shot, it's possible to use Plant Wall instead if you are taking too many hits. And then we have a Sprout Garden. This is another form of HP recovery that we're going to be using. Or well, you can use. I'm not going to show you the whole run for this one. And on top of that, let's remember that the roses also provide HP restoration. Some of them provide HP restoration. So yeah, it's very easy for you to keep Sora's buff up with this character. Or well, it's doable. Like, this is not quite the word, but it is doable. Now, let me show you the run for this one. It is wacky, but it is fun. So, Francis is another character that can use this, but she requires her revolving bat. If you don't have revolving bat, this is not going to be as effective. And I didn't manage to clear this because obviously Francis, it's not easy to control when you have the berserk status. So yeah, and in this particular stage, taking damage can be deadly. So yeah, I'm not gonna beat the whole stage, but I'm going to show you what this can do. So we use Grenade and Demon Render. Demon Render, another form of HP recovery, and Onigoroshi just to abuse stack. So just basically Demon Render, Onigoroshi, Grenade, Onigoroshi, and then you go Berserk. And that's it. That's the whole thing. And while you get tipsy, while you get intoxicated, remember that you're going to recover HP. So that's going to help out with the Sora stacks. And then we also have Felicia to increase a ton of damage, to reduce HP recovery, to reduce damage taken when we receive HP recovery. And we also have Onisaki Kirara to have another source of HP recovery. And then Tracer Sora, of course. For this one, I think I am going to make it tanky. What can I do to make this tanky? Do I have something that makes tanky on green? Damage dealt to assisted characters reduced by 12%? Nah. Let's go with HP. There's one that is very good. This one, the 20% HP increase. And then reduce damage taken from range attacks and increase HP restoration from all sources, acceptable. And then there's one, probably the library girls. No, I know, the Nemofume. With this, I should be tanky enough. I hope. I didn't test it this way. I was going full damage, and I did pretty well until the very end. So, Demon Render, Onigarashi, then what's the command? It's during normal attacks, hold attack to do grenade, and there we have it. Done. And okay, that was not quite right because I got distracted and I received too many hits. Let's try that again. And yeah, like this. Or maybe I could just go with full damage and show you exactly how I did it last time. And like this, and done. Yeah, you're gonna have a ton of HP recovery thanks to Demon Render. So it's not that much of a problem that you take too many hits. There. Nice. Okay. Momochi is there. Okay. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna go with the offensive version. I don't know why this is not working. I guess I had so much damage I could just destroy all the enemies beforehand. So let's see. This and this. I just take this one and this one. And the other one that I was using, it's not the best idea here, but it's the Cannoneer. Yeah. With this, the enemy shouldn't last that long. So, Demon Render, Onigarashi, Grenade, Onigarashi, and then just destroy all the enemies fairly quickly. So yeah, the damage is just insane. And that's why I don't have to take hits, because the enemies don't last long. Demon Render, Onigarashi, Grenade, Onigarashi, and then everyone is gone. Just like that. As you can see, it's very, very good. Though risky because of... there. I just take a Demon Render. Come on, another Demon Render. And that should be enough. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of damage that I can deal with this, but it is risky, as you can see. There. And then the problem is dealing with what's the name? With Aina. She's quite difficult to deal with because if we are Berserk, we are unable to dodge the... Oops, well, I was going to use the ulti first, but okay. We're unable to dodge her bombs. And we don't deal insane damage. Well, we do deal insane damage, but not insane enough to just break her super armor. So this is another one that you can use. It is frail, unfortunately, but I mean, for everything else, it's actually pretty good. But on these levels of tower, it's kind of not as insane. Let's see. Who else can do it? I mean, it is quite simple for this one. Again, I'm not going to show this one because it is not necessary. She is not the best one for this kind of strategy because the healing skill for Momochi Nagi is 18-second cooldown, which is quite lengthy, and that's why we are forced to use the Massacre Grenade. Again, we use the same build as with Shizuru, but the skills are going to be Scorpion, Storm, Dance, and Mirage. The And the advantage that Nagi has is that this not only provides healing when you are below 40%, it also allows you to activate on demand your passive, which summons Momochi Toyo, and this summon is constantly going to heal you, thus proccing the effect. It is quite good. It is a good way to use the Tracer Sora supporter. And let's go with that's how many? 3, right? It's been 3 characters and Sora. Let's go with Ragnarok. Ragnarok is one of the easiest ones. Ragnarok over here, yeah. We're gonna go with the F2P weapon because she's just that strong. So we use blue lightsaber, critical mega damage, whatever attack mega damage on subload, whatever weapon. We go with Icicle Snow, Absolute Zero, and Frosty Gale. Why these skills? Because she is going to recover HP when hitting a frozen enemy, and these skills all freeze. That's why. And when we heal with a damaging skill, or passive in this case, we are going to activate Sora's effect. That's why we use this. We want to be a tiny bit tanky. It is not necessary, but just in case we want to be tanky, that's why we use this. And we put it on the main to also have more damage. Tracer Sora and Felicia for the huge damage increase. For this one, it is also assist, so the one thing that we're gonna change is this. Instead, we're gonna put this one for critical range, because most of our attacks, or the important ones, are gonna be critical range. So yeah, this is fairly simple. She obliterates this stage. We just dodge, there, dodge, and then we use Frosty Gale. And as you can see, we are gaining a ton of stacks. We already have the 10 stacks from Tracer Sora. And that's what I'm telling you. It's not as simple as just using any character and recovering HP and that's it. No, because it's 10 seconds. If it was on 11 seconds, it would be doable to just use Tracer Sora in conjunction with what's the name? With yeah, Blackbeard Kirara. That's the one. Oops. Can I just yeah, okay. HP recovery. And there, more HP recovery. I don't know why, but he really did a lot of damage. Okay, but even so, as you can see, this is fairly simple. As long as I don't commit any mistakes here, I will be able to just recover a ton of HP and deal with Momochi Toyo. Yeah. Now I'll just use them to recover a lot of HP. Yeah, good. Nice. Yeah, I mean, of course, Ragnarok is one of the strongest characters in the game, so she can obliterate this stage. Fairly simple. There. And then I just do this. Nice. Nice, perfect. Already done with her, okay. That's a thing. And done. Yeah, Momochi Toyo was more difficult than these ones. But okay. As you can see, she's another character that can do this, can take advantage of Tracer Sora quite effectively. And the last one that I'm going to show you, let's see, was there someone else other than one that I want to show you? No, I think not. Like, there's not that many options, and we're gonna analyze the issues with this supporter at the very end. But let's go with Kirara, because Kirara can use this supporter effectively. But you're gonna need the weapon, Love is Drop. If you don't have Love is Drop, then you cannot use this supporter with Kirara. So, Snow Veil, Frigid Zone, Leopard Sprint. A Frigid Zone is the one that makes the whole thing. It's magical. It's going to deal damage thanks to how the passive and the weapon work in conjunction. So yeah, we have Massacre Kunai, we have Nana, and we have Tracer Sora again. Nana here just to be extra safe. And over here, let's go with... let's see, critical range, demon critical, and I guess HP increase just cause. I mean, it's useful. Now, the one thing that we need to do is just dodge. With that, we're golden. The perfect dodge is going to activate Frigid Zone, and that's going to make it so that the enemies provide a ton of healing. Yeah, because I just need to take damage too. It's not just that, because the weapon is going to give you HP recovery, lost HP recovery, and that means that when we hit the enemies, we get the healing, and with that we get the attack stacks there. And let's see, I just do a dodge, yeah, and I lost all the stacks, but it doesn't matter. I'll just do this, and I'll use this one to deal massive damage. And I'll use the ultimate with the buff. Okay. Not quite. I didn't want to do this, but okay. Okay, at least it freezes the enemies thanks to the weapon. Yeah. Okay, good enough. Okay. Yeah, perfect. And I'll just do another one of these. And as you can see, for Kirara, this is fairly simple because she just stun locks the enemies. She honestly doesn't need to do that much. And she really benefits from the weapons and supporter combination. And with Massacre Kunai, it's fairly simple to always have those stacks up, because just by using the Frigid Zone, you're constantly using getting HP recovery. I'll use this. And I'm just missing one. Just Aina. Come on, Aina, do your thing. Do the thing, you know? Do the thing where you attack. But she doesn't move that much, so I guess I'll just use this attack instead. Okay, so let's check. Is this limited set worth it? So, compared to the renewal weapon, this is quite niche. You get more benefit out of Chiron Nupu. With the renewal weapon, you're gonna get more damage. As simple as that. And it's way more generic. And it doesn't try to do a wacky gimmick. So I would not recommend getting the weapon. The supporter. The supporter, as I mentioned at the very beginning, is an S tier supporter, sure, because of how much damage it can provide. But the fact that it has the ability to give that much damage doesn't mean that it's going to do it constantly and effectively. There are a handful of characters that can use that supporter effectively, and on top of that, most of them are going to require a very specific kind of gameplay or a specific gear to actually be able to use this. If you don't have the supporters that I have been using, for example, Nana, which pairs very well with this one, if you need to go to challenging content, Blackbeard Onisaki Kirara, Massacre Kurenai, where is Massacre Kurenai? If you don't have those, or maybe even Miss Marin, you are going to struggle with this supporter. What other options? What other things do we have to take into consideration? The weapons, for example, you have to have revolving bat for Francis. You have to have Luffy's drop for Kirara. If you don't have those, they are not going to be as effective. I mean, it's an absolute win for someone like Ragnarok. It just works perfectly with someone like her. But we need more characters who have the ability to just take away their HP and recover HP quickly. Someone like that works like Massacre Grenade, but as a character, not equipping a supporter, so that we can get the same result. That would be very, very useful to take advantage of this. Another thing that we need to highlight before we finish is Felicia. Where is Felicia? Here is Felicia. Felicia is going to be your top pick when using this supporter on team content. Why? Because she is going to provide a form of HP recovery on attack, which means you can get the healing even if you're at max HP. The other healers are not going to be as effective because they have regen effects, and those stop when you are at full HP. But this one is going to allow you to constantly recover HP quickly. You can just go with honestly any build. Blue is very good so that you're able to put the blood mark buff, debuff onto the enemy. Use Evil, Strange, Vampiric Zone, and releases demon. No, only those two: Evil, Strange, and Vampiric Zone. On green, you use Sanguine Smash because it gives you a hefty defense down. Vampire's Zone and Slaying Spree because it also gives you a hefty speed debuff onto the enemy. So yeah, honestly, Felicia's very reliable as a healer and damage dealer nowadays, but she's going to increase in usage thanks to this supporter, just as an enabler for your VR teams. Should you roll for this? In my opinion, not really. I'm sure that this is going to have more value in the future as we receive more characters that play with their HP by decreasing and increasing and restoring their HP constantly. But right now, even if it provides 80% damage increase with that HP recovery niche, it's not that good for the most part. So I recommend that you avoid it for now. I mean, it's Esther, sure, but not everyone is going to be able to use it quite effectively. If you're a Ragnarok fan, okay, use it, but anyways, that's about it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you agree, if you disagree, if you roll for this one, if you got lucky, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!